3 out-of-control bar owners on bar rescue. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos, and comment down below saying I subscribe to enter this month's shoutout giveaway. Hey guys, welcome back to Small Screen Shakedown. Let's jump right into the video. Number 3, O-Face Bar.
I'm leaving. I am not rescuing your bar.
Taffer's first walkout was the trailer-themed O-Face Bar in Council Bluffs, Iowa in the Season 3 punch-drunk and trailer-trashed episode. The owners, Matt and Karen, named the bar after a vulgar expression and engaged in terrible behavior to their staff. In one of Bar Rescue's most infamous moments, Matt and Karen responded to a staff manager fight by firing the victim, bartender Sarissa, instead of its instigator, manager Amanda, as Jon demanded, because they liked Amanda more. Jon was infuriated and almost left on the spot. The owners made amends by firing Amanda and apologizing to Sarissa, but this caused a day of training. Their treatment of customers was little better. Matt refused to give customers the recipe to their signature orgasm shot, and bartender Dave was irresponsible with fire. After an abysmal stress test, they wasted still more time by bickering and family drama. Karen blamed security guard Sick, one of the bar's only decent people, for shortcomings.
We've been here over an hour and we still haven't got a pizza yet.
Karen also had a drinking problem and carried her own Belter ring when she wanted more alcohol. The entire staff drank at work, but not to the extremes Karen displayed. She had a lousy attitude, refused to accept any personal responsibility, and habituality blamed Matt, who in turn berated anyone who snapped at her. Yet another memorable scene showed the staff and owners occupied with arguing in the back room instead of training, while Jon and his experts waited in vain at the bar. Jon had to go in the back room, break up the fight, and list each action that resulted in his decision declared the bar unworthy of rescue. The final straw for Jon was his background check of the staff, which exposed evidence of criminal acts, a video of Matt slapping Dave and offering Sick a raise to throw him through the window. Matt showed no remorse. Jon refused to involve himself with, or risk his reputation for people with such a lack of morals and professionalism. He refused to rescue their bar and walked out. An incensed Matt yelled at Sick while the latter gave his final thoughts. Sick was fired later and Amanda rehired. In a follow-up episode of Back to the Bar, Jon learned that the bar's owners had remodeled it, but its negative depiction and dreadful brand identity were unchanged. Drink and food sales were unimproved, although Matt displayed promise by removing a regular who acted inappropriately toward a female spy.
I am not going to rescue a bar and then read in the newspaper that somebody got hurt here next week. I won't have any part of it.
Number 2, return to second base. Jon's second walkout occurred in the Season 4 Second Base Third Strike episode. This began as a planned re-rescue of baseball-themed second base in Orange, California. The prior episode, Bikini Bust, when it was called Extreme Sports Bar. At first, Gary, who was promoted to manager at the end of Bikini Bust, appeared to be at fault because he did not seem to do his job and blamed successful bars nearby for stealing customers. At one point, Gary became so agitated he pushed down the retaining wall. Instead, Jon discovered that the owner Terry didn't give his staff tools or funds required to operate his bar, constantly replaced old bartenders with new ones he didn't even meet, and abandoned Jon's menu and uniform changes. Terry invested all of second base's funds into a supposedly more successful new bar instead of making improvements or even covering basic operating expenses for second base. He refused to listen to criticism and badmouthed Jon and his expert Liza Marie Joyce. Despite all this, he expected Jon to come in and save his bar again without personal effort.
That's what I love. Now the other bar's not so successful, right? Yeah. This guy is so full of it's unbelievable.
Jon, with his characteristic insistence of owner responsibility, had no intentions of cooperating with this notion. After a stress test, which Jon deemed one of the worst he had ever seen, he gave Terry an ultimatum. He would remodel the bar, but only if Terry put 30 grand to expense himself. Terry now claimed his new bar lacked enough success to support second base and refused. Angry, disgusted, and disappointed because one of his favorite bar concepts had ever been ruined, Jon called Terry a slime bucket and departed.
It's one of the best concepts I've ever done, and he totally it up. Because you are a slime bucket.
Terry's final excuse to Jon was that he would have agreed to contribute to the renew model if he had the money, to which Jon replied to Terry that he would have the money if he ran second base the right way. Jon did, however, promise to assist second base staff in finding new jobs. Number 1, Blacklight District.
You guys flew in on the wrong plane. We don't want you here anyways.
Jon's third walkout was the punk rock themed Blacklight District in Long Beach, California in season's 4 Drunk on Punk episode. Owner Dave refused to accept any changes on the building, drink menu, or music choices. He would only play punk rock, deeming anything else as selling out. He made it clear he'd rather have his bar closed than play any other game. He displayed an immense ego, going so far as to insult customers who criticized the music, along with Jon and mixologist Phil Wills. He sneered at Phil's attempt to prepare a fruit-based drink menu that sold well at other music-themed bars. The Vandals bassist Joe Escalante, who acted as a recon spy, pointed out that as much as he loved punk rock himself, it was a specialized genre unlikely to keep a bar in business by itself. Instead of finding fault with Escalante's knowledge or logic, Dave chose to respond with a personal attack. He mocked Escalante's grandpa sweater and implied that the 35-year-old veteran of the punk scene was too old to get punk.
You can't flounder in here in a sweater and just say I'm punk rock. It doesn't work like that.
Respect somebody who's legendary in the punk rock space who grew up playing in venues like this.
The insulted bassist departed from the episode. The only change Dave was interested in was the addition of a kitchen. Jon found this ludicrous since Dave couldn't even run a bar at night. Dave's bar was filthy and he proved more of a hindrance than helping during the stress test. When Dave told Jon to face his leave, insisting that he knew better, Jon happily complied. The staff, especially jilted investor Gabe, was dismayed by Dave's apathetic attitude and the hope Jon took away from him. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.